Today, we're diving into a really powerful and honestly kind of counterintuitive idea about anxiety. What if the very way you relate to your anxiety is what's making it worse? We're going to be looking at the work of Carol Melkonian, who points to a whole new way forward.
So let me just ask you straight up. Does it ever feel like the harder you fight your anxiety, the tighter its grip gets? I mean, if you've ever felt just completely worn out by that constant battle inside your own head, then this is for you. We're going to explore a totally different path.
All right, first up, let's talk about what's called the anxiety paradox. We're going to dig into this strange loop, why our natural instinct to attack anxiety seems to just feed it and make it stronger. Think about it. From when we're young, the message we get is pretty clear. Anxiety is the bad guy. It's something you're supposed to just stuff down, push through, white knuckle it, and then we judge ourselves for even feeling it, right? We think, oh, what is wrong with me? And just like that, anxiety becomes this enemy inside of us that we're always at war with.
And this slide just lays out the two paths so clearly. On the left, you've got that familiar struggle, right? The fighting, the suppressing, the judging. But look at the right. It's a completely different way of being. Instead of fighting, you meet it with care. Instead of pushing it down, you just notice it. This isn't about surrendering, it's about completely changing the rules of engagement.
So that brings us to our second big idea, awareness before action. See, this new approach doesn't start with some magic bullet fix. It all begins with a simple, but honestly, pretty radical shift in how we look at the whole thing.
This quote from Carol Melkonian really gets to the absolute heart of it. Before you even think about fixing anything, the first step is just to notice. What does anxiety actually feel like in your body? Is your chest tight? Is your heart pounding? You got that knot in your stomach? The whole idea is to just observe these feelings without slapping a label on them like bad or wrong. And here's where the real magic happens. When we can just notice the anxiety and kind of normalize it, remind ourselves, okay, this is a thing humans feel. We strip away that whole painful second layer of judging ourselves. And honestly, that's where so much of the suffering really comes from. Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? Well, this isn't just a mindset. It's backed up by a pretty amazing multi-layered toolkit for your mind and your body. What I love about this toolkit is that it's not some rigid, one-size-fits-all prescription. It's more like a menu of options. Some of us might really connect with the stillness of meditation. But for others, sitting still is the absolute worst thing you can imagine. For them, maybe embodied movement, like yoga, or just a walk outside is the way in. It's all about finding what works for your nervous system.
So, let's quickly talk about internal family systems, or IFS, because it's a really cool piece of this puzzle. IFS basically says that the anxious part of you is an enemy. It's actually a protector that's trying super hard to keep you safe, even if its methods are, well, not so helpful. The goal is to get curious about that part, to understand why it's there, instead of just trying to shut it up.
Now, building this new relationship with anxiety definitely takes practice. But the key here is consistency, not how long you do it. Seriously, 5 minutes of meditation every day is way more powerful than a 1-hour session once a month. And the most important part, if you miss a day, you practice that same self-compassion. No big deal, just start again tomorrow.
Okay, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds nice and soft, but does it actually work? Well, you might be surprised to hear that the science is coming back with a pretty loud yes.
So, in 2023, this landmark clinical trial was published, and it put this exact kind of approach to the test, comparing it head-to-head with standard medical treatment.
The results were pretty incredible. The study found that an 8-week mindfulness program was non-inferior to one of the main SSRI medications for anxiety. Okay, in plain English, that means the mindfulness worked just as well as the drug to reduce anxiety. The big difference? No potential side effects. That's a huge deal.
So, let's pull all these threads together. What we're really talking about here isn't just about learning new coping skills. It's about completely reframing our entire relationship with the feeling of anxiety itself.
And this is probably the biggest shift of all. It goes against everything we've been taught. The goal is not to create a life where you never, ever feel anxious. The real goal is to switch from a relationship of battle to one of curiosity, from constantly rejecting it to allowing it. The feeling might still show up, but it's your response to it that changes everything. It doesn't have to be a catastrophe anymore. It can just be a feeling. And that leaves us with one last kind of provocative thought to chew on. What if your anxiety isn't a problem to be fixed at all? What if, when you meet it with care and a little bit of curiosity, it could actually be a signal a doorway to understanding what you really need, and a path toward knowing yourself a whole lot better.
I stopped trying to find a doctor who would listen, and I did this instead. For years, I was doing everything right. Eating clean, exercising, getting 8 hours of sleep, but I was still exhausted. I had constant brain fog, and my hormones felt completely out of whack. Every doctor told me my labs were normal, and it was probably just stress. I was about to give up until I found Holistic Health. It's a free AI wellness tool trained by functional medicine experts. I spent 5 minutes answering questions about everything: my symptoms, my sleep, my digestion, and it built me this. And this was the light bulb moment. It didn't just give me a list of problems, it connected the dots. It showed me how my gut health was likely impacting my hormones and how that was causing the fatigue and the brain fog. It even gave me a clear list of potential root causes, supplements to research, and even the specific lab tests to ask for. Its tip is secure. Over 77,000 people have used it, and it's 100% free to get your blueprint. If you feel like you're not being heard, start here. Understand your body first and then decide your next step.